My name is Jairam Krishna Velusamy. I'm working at University of Cambridge. Now we are going to see the third session of our program. It is social media reach out. So it is after one of the unconventional talk already we saw. It is wonderful for the young generation researchers. Mind gap is completely different from the conventional talks. Now is going to another unconventional talk. Is going to give by Dr. Sudhagar Pitchaimuthu. I would like to introduce our speaker. Dr. Sudhagar Pitchaimuthu is an associate professor at the School of Engineering and Physical Science, Heriot-Watt University, UK. He was the receptionist of Sir Kaimru, 2 Rising Star Fellow awarded by the European Regional Development Fund and a JSPS Fellowship awarded by Japanese Society of Science and Technology. His research background on the nanomaterial synthesis and coatings for constructing low-cost solar cell energy conversion system. It mainly focuses on transforming the abundance of sustainable solar energy into multifunctional applications such as energy conversion devices, solar cells, solar fuels, and also environmental cleanup, particularly photocatalytic water treatment, air purification, artificial CO2, and recycling the sensors also. And he's always disseminating his science in the social medias in a different manner. Particularly, he uses common people language, and also he work on demolishing the pseudoscience ideas roaming around the internet. Yeah, I would like to invite Dr. Sudhagar Pitchaimuthu. Stage is yours.
Thanks, Dr. Jairam Krishnan. And I'm really happy to see him here. I'm happy to see you here. One of my inspiration for all young minds, those are coming from a college background, unlike you. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thanks for the introduction. And today I'm going to talk about briefly about social media reach out, particularly how to disseminate our research activities and make it more visible, okay, from your lab to the community. And followed my talk, my colleague and my collaborator, Dr. Anandra Singh from Japan, is going to give a further top of this talk. Okay. I think this talk, I don't want to bore you, and definitely this will be very interesting for you because everyone have your mobile phone. You can easily reach out the entire world, and you have plenty of data, free of cost, at least 1 GB in India, and not like I'm sitting in UK, data is really very expensive here. But one way I will appreciate those pioneers to take care of, they take the initiative to make the data cheaper. And as the previous speaker pointed out, the digital democracy or the online democracy, anyone can access any material free of cost. So now the question is, are we using this all content or using these facilities in a proper way or fruitful way? That's a big question for us, particularly the research community as well as the master students are joining here and faculties are also here. Okay, this is the thing I'm going to talk today. So the almost 5 years, approximately 5 years before, people oftenly talk about the research innovation. The funding agents are keen to support the innovation part. Something if you discover new, something you design new, they're happy to invest. But now the situation is slowly changing recently. The people are start to think about or talk about the impact. Okay, so now the innovation is slowly not deleting, actually still innovation is there, but now people are thinking about the impact of the innovation or impact of your research. What is the impact? Simply, I can say it's a benefit. So what is the benefit for your research? If you go and talk to a layman, either your family members on your streets, I'm doing this research, I'm going to do work on the master course in this course, okay. So then they ask you, what is the use? What is the benefit for your research? How it will help you? So what are all the impacts you can classify? So you can classify your research in many ways. Mostly, if you are applying the PhD scholarship or in the postdoctoral fellowship or even in the interview, they're asking the question. So you can categorize all your impact or the benefits of your research in different ways, namely academic impact, industry, economy impact, and societal impact. So the academy is very simple. So how your research is helpful for the fellow members in your same discipline, and industry, how the industry, your research will fruitful for change by any industrial application or industrial methodology or any patent or any technology transfer. The last two is a really very important key. So there's a hidden area, economy and society, and particularly the society. Okay, because all these academia, you're always connected with your colleagues. Industry, you can slightly catch via your organization, but the society is a tricky part because you always mostly within your organization, particularly the academic campus. The society is different, outside campus. Now the point is how we are going to make a high benefit of your research. So how we can define the impact, the societal impact of your research. According to the Economy and Social Research Council UK, they define the societal impact is a meaning of benefits to individuals, organization, or nation. Either it is a small pictures like individual, like a human or community, or your local society. In the larger picture, maybe a bigger organization, committee, or in a continent or nation or whatever it may be. Okay. Further, you can classify all these impacts in the instrumental impact, particularly how it rely on the policy changes through your local governance. Okay, or how it contributing or the changing the reframe the debates. Something people strongly believe some area, how your research is changing their mind. And of course, the third one is very important. The capacity building is very important. This is the part I'm going to talk with you more, particularly how your research, it's a technical and personal skills development and change it. So this is a very, very important part. Okay. Again, let's talk very casually. How to rate your research? Very simple question. What is the yardstick for to measuring whether your research is good or bad or useful or outstanding? Mostly anything we can rate in the world either based on the quality or quantity simply. So the quality wise, how your quality or very finely or very usefully you are doing your research, or the number of research, the more number of quantity of research. Some people you can see that someone asking the questions. Some people have a lot of publication in their early career. Someone have a very, very limited, like less than 10. So in my viewpoint, that quantity is sometimes matter, sometimes doesn't matter. But quality is always, it's a matter of fact. Okay, that's very, very important. So now the second one is based on your quality or quantity. So the research community is valuing you, particularly in a ranking, based on your citation. Citation is when you refer your previous work or your own research work cited by some others. Okay, that's called citations in your research. You can see the reference papers. You can see the articles in the reference as references. Okay, and now keep in mind nowadays the citations are not only accounting from your international publication articles, sometimes from thesis, sometimes from the talk, sometimes from the policies, sometimes from the patent. So there are plenty of space for citations. Okay. And the second yardstick is the recent days in the last few years, people are talking about the H index. It's a kind of formula. Okay. How many papers how many articles you published, and how many articles cited by your articles cited by other, input by output like that. Okay. So it's called H index. So if you have approximately more than 25 H index, definitely you have to get a good position in a academic area or in a postdoctoral opportunity or something. So this is merely a quick yardstick to measure your qualitative or quantitative about your research area. And sometimes you can see the ranking the field in your own field, like sometimes the Stanford University is ranking. These are all the private one. Don't worry about. These are all the not government organization ranking. It's a kind of organization based. They have a database. They collect they have this entire world and they're ranking it. The one good example is the Clarity. The Web of Science. Every year they are citing the popular scientists or highly cited research around the world. But keep in mind, whenever we talk about the research, the factor we keep in our mind is the Nobel laureates. Okay? Obviously, Nobel Prize winners are one of the top researchers because they are already in the limelight. But interestingly, sometimes what happened, some of the unknown professors or unknown faculties, unknown researchers came to the limelight. They need not to be a Nobel laureate, or they need not to be a even well-known figure in their own organization. But this type of ranking will help them to bring into the entire, bring the kind of big attention to the world. Okay, so obviously if you're in a big attention, definitely you get a high funding, you get a kind of sustainable source for running your own research group or whatever it may be. Okay, so now I want to tell that your quality and quantity is a really matter of fact if you want to be ranked in a good position, because there's a competitive world, or most of the young minds are always chasing that opportunity. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about the one more keyword about altimetry. Okay, so this is a non-popular keyword at the moment. So, but the most of them are already started to talk about the citations and H index, but this altimetry is a different keyword. Okay, it is also one of the yard scale to measure your quality and quantity, or how the people talk about your research in an outside world. This is very, very important. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about one by one. Now the social media. What is the as I mentioned, in the previous slide, the societal impact. How we are going to talk or communicate from the lab to outside world. This is very important. Okay, so the only one answer at the moment, with the free of cost or the low cost, is the social media. In recent years, social media has become a critical space for the dissemination of knowledge and outreach to community and as well as policymaker, and also for the creation of communities of practice. So it is an indispensable component at the moment. Because everyone have mobile, so everyone have opportunity, internet facilities in your home or in your organization. So I think most of them you have a social media account, either in Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever it may be. So you can easily connect. Okay, so now social media become a culture, but still many people are afraid to enter into social media because of the popular myths. 4 myths I can point out here. The many people think that the protective research don't have time to waste on social media. Okay, this is the one of the myths. So I know many world-leading professors or the researchers or the Nobel nominees are very, very active in social media, like LinkedIn, Twitter. They always want to chat the community. But one reason, not only the popularity, they're already in the popularity. The one thing is they want to disseminate their own research to the community, knowledge transfer. And second thing is that they're always getting feedback from this opposite side. That's very important. Okay? The second point is that social media will intrude on my personal life. Yes, I strongly agree with you. But again, this is how, in what percentage you are using the social media. Okay? Third one is no one would be interested in anything I have to go to say anyway. So these are kind of less confident or complex, there are huge people always happy to listen or want to learn from others. Okay, so don't think that. Now the point is where you are going to talk, who is your audience. That's very important. Okay, and fourth point is social media will get me into trouble. Of course, you should be very careful. It's like a two-edged sword. You should be very, very careful in your language. Sometimes your attitude is very important. So I really admit all these issues, but it can be manageable. The bottom one I'm showing here, the kind of a small cartoon here, I can categorize the people, including me, you, and those who are outside of this the talk. So the first one, people category is a watcher. They doesn't want to involve, but they want to watch or learn. The signposter, I will tell you later. The content generator is they doesn't want to watch, or even they want to watch, but they always creating their own content. They always very, very active, more active. But the watcher, yes, of course, low risk, but more passive. They are dependent on others. But content generator, even though high risk, they are more active and they get high benefits. Okay. The signposter, sometimes it's a very diplomatic role. They are placing between the lower risk and higher risk. They are watching. At the same time, they are creating the generation. They're creating their content, just passing or forwarding the others' material, others' post, others' content. Okay, so sometimes if you feel this is your choice where you want to be, but at least you have to be in touch with social media. That's very important. That's my intention of my talk today. Okay, where you want to start? I can give you some of the tips or you can choose your own platform. The one we can call it as a home base. Either it is your own website. Still, it's a good platform to connect the outside community. And sometimes you can subscribe the others stuff or blogs. Isn't really nice. You can control. Okay. The second one is the emphasizes. Emphasize a simple social media. Wherever you have your own account, Twitter, LinkedIn account, or some other social media. Okay. And outpost, yes, you can listen others. Just create the account and you can listen others and follow or participate some groups. Okay. The altimetric is another good example. I will explain later. So these are all the basic fundamental categories where you can start. So if you want to start this a good social media content creator, the first thing you have to build your academic brand or your own brand. The main important, keep in mind that don't put any crazy names. Try to give an attractive, particularly for attracting the scientific community or the layman. Okay. And second thing is don't often change your account name. That's very important. Okay. So you should keep consistency. Second one is, of course, the consistency is the key for building your brand. So sometimes what happened, I have seen a lot of people, they create that account with 5 years back and 5 years later, they will open it for or they'll follow me. No, it doesn't work. The trend and scenario every time changing. The social media is very fast. So you should keep your followers or you have to keep your account consistently, either watch or content creating or signpost, whatever it may be. You should be consistent. Very, very important. Okay. So as I mentioned, it's not social media is not about half measures. You have to keep on, continuously monitoring. Okay, that's very, very important. So second tips I can give you that curate the people that you follow. For example, keep your newsfeed relevant. When you start, for example, in LinkedIn or Facebook, the many people said, I posted some things, but no one is following me, no one is listening me. The problem is the relevant content. Okay, so first try to build your own community of followers. Keep your newsfeed relevant to the particular audience. If you are in a Facebook, if you are in touch with a layman, please post the relevant message, or your tone or your language should be relevant to the layman. If you are posting in a professional forum like a LinkedIn, your language should be slightly scientific or mixed with the layman or mixed with industrial forum. That's very important. Okay, so you keep your newsfeed relevant. Share trustworthy information that is useful to you. So please be careful with this. So whom you are following or whom the data you're sharing, whom the post you're sharing. That's very important. Okay, so these are all the other part. Okay, and the second one is always watch how you're influencing others. That's also very important. Okay, please watch your follower count peak. That's very That's very important. Okay, these are all the other parameters. So know your audience. Already explained. Okay. So I will take a few minutes about other tips from my own experience. I want to give you. First, you have to understand the social media algorithm. For example, many people I have seen, they share the link in their own post, but keep in mind sometimes the Facebook algorithm or LinkedIn algorithm, they doesn't show the post not high visible. Okay, so better to avoid the link directly in your post. Better share the link in your comment box. Maybe you can attach some attractive picture or thumbnail in your post. Okay. Sometimes you need to read some blogs, or sometimes you have to read more points about the algorithm. Okay, how it works, and you have to understand the traffic time, and these are all the very basic things. And recently, all the publishers are provide you the free copy for 50 days. Anyone can access. So try to utilize this opportunity as much possible to provide or post this link in Facebook or LinkedIn, wherever, Twitter. Twitter is amazing for one of the dissemination area. Okay, so it will provide you a wider readability, and try to utilize your any short articles options. For example, most of the campuses have their own magazine. Try to participate and give a short articles about your research and about your team or about you. Okay. And don't shy to share your accomplishment. For example, if you get some good coursework, I can see a lot of people are sharing their course certificate in the LinkedIn, because this will motivate others also getting benefit this type of courses. Okay, please feel free to sharing this type of information. And of course, some training programs, conferences. Suppose if you are participating for posters, take some nice pictures, selfie, and a little bit. Two selfies, maybe one is a selfie, another one is about the closer picture of your poster. Anyone can see it. Okay, that's very important. And fourth one is try to tag the appropriate stakeholders in your post. That simple is very popular. Okay, and be careful. If you are, you can tag your organization. You can tag your funding agency. You can tag someone want to be a good big professors or big industry. Please tag them. Okay, but keep in mind they should be also active in the social media. That's very important. Okay, this is very important. And don't say no whenever you get opportunity for a short interviews or opinion article. Sometimes I got a phone when I was in travel, in airport or train station or in a bus. I'm always happy to do that, particularly when I got opportunities in newspapers or local media, radio interview, FM, etc. Okay, see, opportunities always comes with challenges. Okay, so try to take it. That's very important, and don't shy to share your content. For example, you can make your own podcast like audio type of footages or your YouTube channels. Nowadays some of the interviews are asking about how you are outreaching your own self, without funding agency. Yeah, YouTube is a free of cost. I can open my own channel and I can share some of my ideas, my research thoughts, everything. Okay, so the YouTube content also very good, and don't shy to share your content. Okay, and prospective news, as I mentioned, some of the tips how to generate the content generator. You can read some article this week, and you take 2 or 3 lines and write a few lines about the critics about the article to understand the layman language. Okay, and latest news, you can share the trends, critics. Okay, you can share it. And the last one here I want to point it out is a kind of good attitude. Please open mind to greet others' achievement. There are good emojis are provided by the different social media platforms, clappings or love support, and these are all always encouraging the fellow community members. Okay, and give a good feedback in a comment box. They will immediately follow you. Okay, and try to do an opinion chat. But keep in mind, don't try to argue too much, and don't kill your time, and don't spoil your mood. That's very important. Okay, please watch your language and attitude in social media. Sometimes you are put in trouble in a law. Okay, by law. Okay, I will quickly share in 5 to 7 minutes what I believe in my own experience. Okay, this is some photographs, some screenshot of how I'm working on LinkedIn. Particularly, this is one of the fantastic platform what I experienced and benefited. Particularly the one, yes, post your nice picture, professional pictures. Okay, and the about column is very important, because about you have to write as a snapshot or very short story of your key achievements, or about your introduction, what's your background, what you value. It's a short snapshot of your CV. Okay, don't again write too many things. It's only key points, your achievements, to attract others to follow you. Okay, and again, whenever I publish the articles, I'm always keen to share in social media for two-way knowledge transfer, wide readability, and citation. For example, the one article I showed, published in one international journal, I always never post in a link. I always post the title of content or graphical abstract for attracting people, and I will always share the link either in the comment box or within the context somewhere. But I never allow to in a feed pop-up way. Okay, so here you can see the one of the reviews I posted. I can see the measurements here. Almost approximately 9,000 people view my post. That's fantastic. Okay, 9,000 people around the world, they have seen my article. Okay, so these are all the sharing gave me a wider readability, and sometimes I have good citations. And sometimes I'm sharing the good news about wherever I'm giving a talk. For example, this is the one talk I gave in VIT in last year, 2021, and I posted, and now more than 2,000 people already seen. And I got some future invitations from different organizations. It made me more popular and give you more network. And I will give you an interesting story. The one student contact from Algeria, his name is Yashin Sharif. He's a PhD student. He randomly attended this interview, this invited talk, and contacted me. And now he's collaborating with me, and we already published one paper. See, sometimes it gives you networking and further invitation. Okay, and these are all the some of the other papers I shared in LinkedIn. See the measurements in science direct page.
So we have only 5 minutes.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to quickly. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
here you can see the citing. Then I share it in the the measurement scale in the science page. I can see the readers are increasing and citations are going up. Okay, so here is because of the social media here. The one we published with the next speaker, my collaborator, Dr. Anand Singhali, last year we published a nice, fantastic review article in Advances in Colloids and Interfaces Journal, and here we see we got a more than 8,000 views at time. Okay, but because of that, see, in the case of the people talk about our article here, that's 61 maker influences from the social media. Okay, this is very, very, very important. Okay, and all the early career master students and PhD students, those are looking the opportunity in LinkedIn, please try to use the badges. Okay, like a open to work. This is one good example. Mr. Kamal Rudra, I just randomly picked from my network. Okay, try to make more visible of your account. Okay, and please try to stay with some good people or good community, like a WhatsApp group, either WhatsApp group or Facebook group, in your own appropriate research community. The one good example I can say, in the 2 weeks before, we have our ANEGATE scientific community. We have our own WhatsApp group. More than 2,000 members in 5-6 groups are participated, and keep on a good discussion. Different type of conference opportunities, different type of postdoc opportunities, fellowship opportunities, award opportunities. And one more interesting story, one candidate asking about the information about so anyone can share about the, shall I get the details about the transparent conducting oxide, something about the research need. Immediately the discussion is going, one gentleman is giving information from the Sigma Aldrich, and suddenly one guy is jumping onto that. Yes, if you are suffering economically, I can help you. I can send some FTO substrate from abroad. See how people are generous. See, that's why I'm telling you, if you are using the social media in a proper way, definitely you will get not only visibility, you can get more helpful. Okay. In 2-3 minutes, Jaya, I want to take 3-4 minutes only.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Now I'm going to talk about the altmetric. Okay. What is the altmetric? If you look up the recent publications, earlier only the citations and article views. Recently they add the altimetric. The citation is very straightforward. How the people are referring your research work in their article or thesis or whatever the possible way, measurable way, it's adding to your citation. But altmetric is different. How the community outside world is talking about your research. That is the altmetric. How we can measure it, okay? That is another question, okay? So this is called altmetric donuts. To have a different colors in the circle, which contain the research news, blogs, Twitter, Facebook, and Mendeley, So how people are talking about your research work in different area, it will automatically counted and adding into the altmetric score. So I will quickly show you how altmetric is working, okay? The right-hand side, you can see the table. This is a score sheet of how your altmetric score can be accounted. The first one, you can see the research news is at top. And if you are sharing, different people sharing your news about in a blog, your score will be high. And of course, in Wikipedia, patent, we have all high score. Even though the low score in Facebook and Twitter, but in multiple people are doing, the score will be increasing. But only the danger point, this can be artificially made by your own network. But keep in mind, Facebook, the personal account, if you're sharing, it doesn't account. So wherever you share the message in a Facebook open page, open account, open access area, then they will take into account. Okay. So that's why I told, please stay with a good community and share your work there. Okay. In Twitter, whenever the people, something, others, they talk about you, share your link, it will be accounted. Okay. Now I will go to quickly, I don't want to take much time, I go 1 or 2 minutes. Okay. There are different one I will do. Okay. Mendeley is one of the very key influencing for altmetric. Okay. This is a hidden area. Please take care of the Mendeley or join the Mendeley account. There is a lot of notes available in the Mendeley desktop, how to use, how to install. Okay. The advantage here, there is inside Mendeley, they can create a group for a private group or public group. In their group, if you discuss the other's paper, then it will automatically count there. Okay. That's why I told please join in a Mendeley group or create a Mendeley group and share your work. And finally, I'm going to take a last 2 minutes or 1 minute about how in my personal life, I benefited in social media. Okay. As I mentioned, ultimately, the research news is in the top 8 score. Okay, how to make a research news? 5 years back, I really struggled how to connect the outside world or publish about my research topic in a media. I really struggled. Okay, I will tell you the clue. So the problem for me, I can say the challenge for media, anyone can create a story. Now the point is authentic of the news. So I always suggest you, please contact your own organization once you publish the article. If you think you want to communicate with the outside world, contact your press news section. Okay, so the authentic source for media is very important. So I contacted this when I was working at Swansea University. My paper, I show you the high altimetry in the previous slides. The paper published in ESC Applied Nanomaterials. So the first they published in a Swansea website. Okay, it's obviously maybe less than 1,000 views only. But once the press news released, then BBC contacted us and they took the story and they published the story in BBC News in 21 May 28. Believe me, the day after publishing BBC News, I was quite very busy after the next 2 months because of the powerful reach of BBC media. Okay, the entire world, and I got a lot of invitation from interviews from magazines like Independence, a popular journal, and in UK, Popular Science is a very, very popular magazine from Australia, and even some of the Spain journals also discussing about. And later on, I checked in the YouTube some of the Chinese channels also discussing about my work. I'm going to finish quickly. So approximately, more than 100 items in 12 countries, in 4 continents, more than 10 million people discussed our research. You can say it's a 1 crore, because of the one BBC article where we started from the press news. If I put my name in the Google at the moment, yeah, the plenty of pages comes. And the last, I'm going to end quickly. So after this one, the Wales government in UK, they have their own magazines called Advances Wales. They published the cover article and as well as the front page article. Then I took a photo and a gentle picture. In front of the Swansea Museum in the cafe, in coffee cafe. I read the how to help the anti-cancer activity with the tea leaf nanoparticles, and in the cafe with taking tea. So this story I put it in my LinkedIn post. Then the next day I got a call from America, and the one freelancer interviewed me more than 2 hours. Then he published my story in a Nature magazine, Nature Outlook. So they started with the Sudhagar Pitchaimuthu my name. Okay, I'm going to put final one. Yeah. Okay, now I'm going to end with it. Social media have their own challenges, but in terms of research dissemination, there are plenty of opportunities. Now, where you want to be, either a watcher, signposter, or content generator. It's up to you. Okay, thank you very much.